In the olden days, the old cowboys used to sit around the campfire in the evening and tell these stories about the things that they did, about the bears they seen and the lions they seen and the rattlesnakes and all the cattle that got run away and got lost in the storm and all that. They tell these stories, you know, in the evenings. They sit around after work all day out on the ranch riding cattle, herding the cattle. And this is one old boy, he started telling the story. And it's about his confrontation with the bear. In other words, about his finding a bear and what happened to him with the bear. And this is a true story. They used to tell these stories, and they were all true. Only some were just a little bit truer than others. So this is a true story about a cowboy's confrontation with a bear. It is called The Bear Truth.
Bear Truth?
Yeah, that's the name of the poem, The Bear Truth. It was in the month of November, as I rightly remember. And I was riding for steers gone astray. Well, I searched far and wide where a dang steer might hide. When it came on a big bear that day, well, it was bear season, so I had a reason, and I spurred my hoss Duke on ahead. But soon off old Duke, and you're right, old Duke spooked. My rifle and he, they both fled. Well, I mounted a boulder that came up to my shoulder as that bear took a swipe at my ear. I grabbed for my knife and I sliced for my life, and I cut off a big chunk of his rear.
What's a rear?
His rear, right there.
His bone?
Yeah,
his bone?
His little rear end. And I cut off a big chunk of his rear. Well, he came at that rock with wide open chops, and I fed him that chunk of raw meat. But he came back faster, inviting disaster, and I did an exact repeat. Well, he circled that rock like a fine-tuned Swiss clock, each time in the same convolution. Each time he came round, I'd slice off more than a pound, and I'd feed him on the next revolution. He never caught on. Didn't take long until, to his sad consternation, he had eaten himself.
How had he eaten himself?
The bear had eaten himself.
How could the bear eat himself?
Because I fed him that with raw meat. Every time he'd come around, I'd slice off a little bit and feed it to him. He'd just come by. See? Yeah.
He sliced it off and then you gave him his
Then I
body.
gave it to eat.
And
Gave
then
it to
he
him.
died.
Exactly right. Yeah, that's what happened till he was all gone. He'd eaten himself. And so I slipped from my shelf, relieved to my very foundation. So, if you see a bear on the trail out there, now please, I don't mean to scold you, but if you've got a knife, it could save your life if you don't forget what I told you.